Does it ever feel like you're playing a game you just can't win? You work hard, you chase that next promotion, you try to keep up, but your money just seems to vanish. It feels like you're stuck on a treadmill, putting in all the effort but going absolutely nowhere, while the stress just keeps piling up. It's that constant, low-grade hum of anxiety in the back of your mind. And you're not alone in feeling this way. According to Northwestern Mutual's 2025 Planning and Progress Study, a staggering 69% of Americans say financial uncertainty has made them feel depressed and anxious, and that number has been climbing. For a huge number of adults, money is a primary source of stress. We are literally worrying ourselves sick over money. But what if I told you the path to building real, lasting wealth wasn't about earning more, but about owning less? When most people hear minimalism, they picture empty, white-walled apartments, owning only 3 shirts, or living a life of brutal deprivation. They think it's all about sacrifice. But that's not minimalism, that's a caricature. True financial minimalism is an unseen power. It's a powerful philosophy with roots in timeless principles, used not to have less of a life, but to have more of the life you actually want. It's a mindset shift that creates both deep peace of mind and, surprisingly, significant profit. Welcome to history's wealth playbook. For years, I was trapped in that same cycle. I was buried in debt, stressed about every single purchase, and felt like my finances were controlling me, not the other way around. I was chasing a version of success that society had sold me, and honestly, it was making me miserable. The shift happened when I discovered that the principles of minimalism weren't just for decluttering my closet, they were the key to decluttering my entire financial life. In this video, I'm going to reveal the exact mindset shift that unlocks this financial freedom and then give you the simple, practical systems you can put in place to make it automatic. This isn't about becoming a cheapskate or giving up everything you love. It's about being intentional. It's about designing a life where your money serves you, your values, and your biggest goals, creating a system that builds wealth quietly and consistently in the background. So, if you're ready to get off that treadmill and start building a life of freedom and abundance, subscribe, and let's dive in. Part of the mindset behind the wealth. Before we get into the practical, step-by-step systems, we have to start with the foundation. Because without this, nothing else is going to stick. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that financial change is all about spreadsheets and budgeting apps. It's not. It's about psychology. It's an internal job first. All the best financial systems in the world will fail if your mindset is working against you. The unseen power of financial minimalism begins not in your bank account, but in your brain. The first and most crucial mindset shift is to completely redefine what wealth means to you. Our culture has programmed us to believe that wealth is just a number. It's a bigger salary, a bigger house, a faster car, a fancier vacation. It's an external scoreboard we use to compare ourselves to others. But this is a trap. It's a game with no finish line because the goalposts are always moving. Financial minimalism offers a radical and, frankly, more fulfilling definition. Wealth isn't about how much you have. Wealth is about how much freedom you have. It's about time. It's about autonomy. It's about waking up in the morning and not feeling that knot of anxiety in your stomach about bills. It's the freedom to walk away from a job that's draining your soul. It's the time to invest in your relationships, learn a new skill, or just be present with your family without your mind being cluttered with financial worry. This is where financial minimalism comes in. At its core, it's the practice of intentional spending. It's about consciously choosing to spend money only on the things that genuinely add value to your life, things that align with your deepest priorities, and ruthlessly cutting out the financial dead weight that doesn't. This isn't about deprivation. It's about selective abundance. The second mindset shift is understanding the deep connection between your stuff, your spending, and your mental health. Most of us live with a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety, that feeling of being overwhelmed, of having too much to do, too much to manage, and too much to pay for. This isn't just a feeling, it's a real psychological phenomenon called cognitive load. Think of your brain like a computer's RAM. It has a finite amount of processing power. Every single possession you own, every subscription you pay for, every financial account you have to manage, is like an open tab on your computer. Each one takes up a tiny sliver of your mental RAM. A car needs insurance, registration, maintenance, gas. A closet full of clothes requires you to make decisions every single day. A portfolio of 20 different stocks needs constant monitoring. Individually, these seem small, but added up, they create a massive cognitive burden. You end up with dozens, if not hundreds, of these tabs open in your brain at all times. The result is decision fatigue, a state where the sheer number of choices you have to make drains your mental energy, making you more likely to make poor decisions, especially with your money. Less clutter literally means less stress and a clearer head. This is why simplifying is so powerful. Financial minimalism is a direct antidote to this modern anxiety. When you declutter your physical space, you are literally decluttering your mind. But it goes deeper. Simplifying your financial life by consolidating bank accounts, automating bills, and killing unused subscriptions slashes your cognitive load. You're closing all those unnecessary tabs, and suddenly you have more mental bandwidth. You have the clarity to focus on what actually matters. Studies have repeatedly shown a powerful link between low-consumption lifestyles and greater well-being. For example, research from the University of Otago in New Zealand confirmed that people who intentionally consume less and resist the pull of consumerism report being happier and more satisfied with their lives. This isn't a coincidence. It's because they've freed themselves from the anxiety machine. They've stopped letting their financial complexity dictate their mental state. By choosing simplicity, you're not just organizing your finances, you are actively designing a life with more peace and less worry. You stop being a slave to your desires and finally regain control. The third mindset shift is realizing that having fewer options is actually a form of power. It's about reclaiming your sense of control. When you're faced with an endless sea of choices, you often end up making no choice at all, or worse, a choice you immediately regret. Financial minimalism acts as a filter. By pre-deciding what your priorities are, you drastically cut down the number of decisions you have to make every day. This reinforces a powerful sense of agency, that feeling that you are in control of your own life. Instead of being a passive consumer, just reacting to ads and social pressure, you become a proactive architect of your life. Every time you consciously decide not to buy something because it doesn't align with your values, you're casting a vote for your own autonomy. You are telling yourself, I am in control, not the marketers, not the trends, not my fleeting impulses. This shift from being reactive to proactive is life-changing. It builds a muscle of self-discipline. When you know you only spend money on, say, high-quality food and travel, you don't even see the ads for fast fashion or the latest smartphone. They just become irrelevant noise. You've made the big decision up front, which makes all the small, daily decisions practically automatic. The fourth mindset shift is moving from a budget-based approach to a value-based one. The reason most budgets fail is that they're rooted in restriction and deprivation. They're just a long list of no's. Financial minimalism, on the other hand, is rooted in a powerful list of yes. But first, you have to figure out what they are. This is what I call the value identification engine. It's a simple, three-step process to give you radical clarity on where your money should be going. Step 1. Brainstorm your values. Grab a piece of paper or open a new note. Without any judgment, write down everything that is truly important to you in life. Not what you think should be important, but what actually is. This could be anything: family, freedom, security, learning, health, creativity, adventure, community, peace, generosity. Get it all down on paper. Step 2. Force rank your top 3. Now for the hard part. Look at your list and circle the top 5. Then, from that short list, you must force rank your top 3. This will be difficult, but it's crucial. From now on, everything in your financial life will be judged against these 3 things. Step 3. The value audit. Now, Pull up your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Go through them line by line. For every single transaction, ask yourself a simple question. Did this purchase directly and meaningfully serve one of my top 3 values? This process is brutally revealing. You will likely see a massive disconnect between what you say you value and where your money is actually going. You might say you value health, but you see hundreds of dollars spent on takeout and DoorDash. You might say you value freedom, but you see payments for a car you barely drive or for streaming services you never watch. Many people find there's a huge gap between their spending and their values. This is where the magic happens. This exercise reframes the entire concept of cutting costs. You are no longer sacrificing or depriving yourself. You are making a conscious choice to defund the things you don't care about in order to overfund the things you do. Okay, you've done the deep work. You've shifted your mindset. You've redefined wealth. You get the psychological cost of clutter. You've started reclaiming your agency, and you've identified your core values. Now, it's time to turn that powerful new mindset into a set of simple, automatic systems that build wealth for you. Before we dive into specific tools, let's establish the 4 guiding principles of our system. Every tactic we're about to discuss is built on these 4 pillars. Think of this as the constitution for your new financial life. Pillar 1. Simplify. The first goal is to reduce complexity wherever you can. Complexity is the enemy of action. It creates that cognitive load we talked about and opens the door for mistakes. We will simplify our accounts, our budget, and our investments. The fewer moving parts there are, the easier the machine is to run. Pillar 2. Automate. The second pillar is to take yourself, your willpower, your emotions, out of the equation as much as possible. Automation is the single most powerful tool for building wealth. We will set up systems that move our money to the right places without us having to think about it every single month. Pillar 3. Consolidate. This goes hand in hand with simplifying. We want to reduce the number of financial relationships we have. Fewer bank accounts, fewer credit cards, fewer brokerage firms. Consolidation reduces mental clutter, makes tracking your finances incredibly easy, and often lowers the fees you pay. Pillar 4. Prioritize. This is where our value identification work from Part A comes directly into play. Every system we build will be designed to serve our top 3 values first. We will use our money with intention, funding our priorities lavishly while cutting ruthlessly elsewhere. This ensures our financial system is not just efficient, but also deeply fulfilling. Simplify, automate, consolidate, and prioritize. Keep these 4 pillars in mind as we build out the systems. The very word budget makes most people want to run for the hills. It conjures up images of tedious spreadsheets, tracking every single penny, and feeling guilty about buying a lot. So, let's throw that out. A minimalist budget isn't about tracking everything. It's about controlling the big things so you don't have to worry about the small things. I call this the priority-focused budget, or the spend lavishly budget. It's built directly on your value audit. Here's how it works. Instead of 100 different budget categories, you just have 4 simple buckets. Bucket 1. Fixed costs. This is your non-negotiables. Housing, utilities, insurance, and minimum debt payments. Calculate this number. Your goal is to keep it as low as is reasonably possible without sacrificing your well-being. Bucket 2. Investing and savings. This is the most important bucket. This is your freedom fund. Based on your goals, you'll set a fixed percentage of your income, say 20%, that gets automatically transferred into your retirement and investment accounts. This is non-negotiable. It comes off the top before you do anything else. Bucket 3. Your lavish spending pillars. Remember your top 3 values? Pick the 1 or 2 that require active spending. For me, it's travel and learning. This bucket gets a dedicated, generous allowance. The key here is to give yourself enthusiastic permission to spend freely and joyfully within this bucket. No guilt, no second guessing. This is what you've been working for. Bucket 4, everything else. This final bucket contains everything else. groceries, gas, entertainment, clothes, restaurants, you name it. The money left over after you've funded the first 3 buckets is what goes in here. And here's the trick. You don't need to track this bucket obsessively. You just have a total amount for the month, and when it's gone, it's gone. Another great option is the popular 50/30/20 rule. It's also beautifully simple. 50% of your income goes to needs, your fixed costs, 30% goes to wants, your lavish spending and everything else, and 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. Whichever you choose, the principle is the same: simplicity and prioritization over obsessive tracking. Now that we have our spending plan, it's time to apply the minimalist principle of decluttering to our entire financial infrastructure. This is about more than just getting rid of old stuff. It's about radically simplifying the accounts and services that run your money. Remember Pillar 1, simplify. Step 1 is to consolidate your accounts. Most of us have a messy web of financial accounts we've collected over the years. Multiple checking accounts, several savings accounts, old 401k, from past jobs, and a wallet stuffed with credit cards. This is a recipe for mental clutter. The minimalist approach is to have as few accounts as you can. Step 2 is the quarterly subscription audit. Subscriptions are the silent killers of wealth. A $10 monthly charge seems like nothing, but that's $120 a year. Multiply that by a dozen subscriptions you forgot you had, and you could be bleeding thousands. Every 3 months, review every single recurring charge. Be ruthless. If you haven't used a service in the last month, cancel it. You can always sign back up if you truly miss it. Some apps can even help you identify and cancel these for you. Step 3 is to declutter for capital. Go through your home and identify everything you haven't used in the past year. Clothes, electronics, furniture, books. Sell them. Use that money to create immediate momentum. Pay off a high-interest credit card, or make a lump sum deposit into your new investment account. This creates a powerful feedback loop. The act of physical decluttering directly fuels your financial freedom. This is the linchpin. This is the system that truly separates financial minimalists from everyone else, and it's how you build wealth while you sleep. We are going to build an automatic wealth machine, grounded in Pillar 2, automate. The core concept is, pay yourself first, and it's so simple it's almost insulting. But almost no one does it correctly. Most people get paid, spend money for a month, and then try to save whatever is left over. This is a recipe for failure. We're going to reverse the flow completely. Here's the setup. You're going to configure a series of automated transfers that trigger the day your paycheck hits your checking account. Your money will be assigned its job before you even have a chance to spend it. 1. Automate your savings and investments. This is the first and most important transfer. On payday, an automatic transfer sends that 20%, or whatever your target is, from your checking account directly to your investment accounts, your IRA, a brokerage account, etc. This money is now gone. It's working for you. You never had a chance to miss it. 2. Automate your bills. Set up every single one of your recurring bills, rent, mortgage, utilities, insurance, car payment, to be paid automatically from your checking account. This eliminates the risk of late fees and, more importantly, it removes the cognitive load of having to remember them. 3. Automate your debt payoff. If you have debt, automate those payments. What's left in your checking account after this automation cascade is your true discretionary income for the month. This is the money for bucket 4, everything else. This system completely changes your psychology. Instead of saving being a chore at the end of the month, your spending money becomes the leftover. The minimalist philosophy extends all the way to your investment strategy. The modern financial world bombards us with the idea that investing has to be complicated. You need to pick the right stocks, time the market, and follow the news obsessively. This is not only stressful and time-consuming, but it's also a proven way for most people to underperform. A minimalist investor does the exact opposite. They embrace simplicity and passivity. The goal is not to beat the market, but to be the market as efficiently and cheaply as possible. This means avoiding individual stock picking. Instead, you invest in low-cost, broadly diversified index funds or ETFs. These are funds that simply hold all the stocks in a major index, like the S&P 500. You get exposure to the entire market, you don't have to make any individual stock decisions, and the fees are incredibly low. It is the definition of a set-it-and-forget-it approach. Imagine an investor who, every time they get a raise, simply increases the percentage of their automatic investment. They don't try to time the market. They just consistently buy broad market index funds every single month, no matter what the headlines say. This removes emotion, minimizes time spent on management, and lets the power of compounding do all the heavy lifting. The beauty of this is that it connects directly to our other systems. Every dollar you don't spend because of your minimalist mindset is a dollar you can redirect into this automatic, low-maintenance investment machine. This is the engine of wealth creation. And because the strategy is simple and automated, it brings peace of mind, freeing you from the stress that plagues most active investors. Okay, we've covered a lot. Theory is great, but action is what creates change. I want to give you a concrete, step-by-step plan you can start today. This is your roadmap for the next 90 days. Your 30-day sprint to clarity. The goal of the first 30 days is to get some quick wins, build momentum, and find immediate clarity. Week 1, the audit. Do the value identification engine exercise. Force rank your top 3 values. Then, do the value audit on your last month of spending. This is your new compass. Week 2, the subscription purge. Go through your statements and cancel every single subscription you don't use weekly. Be ruthless. At the same time, unsubscribe from all marketing emails. Stop the temptation at the source. Week 3, the first declutter and automation. Identify and sell 10 to 30 items from your home. Use that money to pay down debt or seed your savings. Then, log into your bank and set up your very first automated transfer from checking to savings on your next payday. Week 4, the account consolidation. Choose your simple account structure, 1 checking, 1 savings. Make a plan to consolidate any extra accounts. If you have multiple credit cards, pick your primary one and put the others away. By the end of 30 days, you will already feel lighter and more in control. The unseen power of financial minimalism is that it puts you firmly back in the driver's seat. It begins with the profound mindset shift that wealth is not about having more, but about being more, having more time, more freedom, and more peace. It's about aligning your money with your soul. And it's solidified through simple, practical systems. A system that simplifies your life, declutters your mind, and automates the process of building wealth. It's a framework that channels your resources away from the things that don't matter and directs them with powerful intention toward the life you truly want. This isn't about empty rooms or a life of scarcity. It's about creating space. Space in your home, space in your schedule, and space in your mind. And it's in that space that the magic happens. It's where you find the clarity to pursue your passions, the freedom to take calculated risks, and the peace that comes from knowing you are in control of your own destiny. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Minimalism isn't about less life. It's about more of the life you actually want. If this framework resonated with you, and you're ready to build more systems that turn simple habits into lifelong wealth, make sure to like and subscribe to History's Wealth Playbook. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.